Hello everybody. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I thought it might be fun to do a full tour of what my tanks look like when they're not in a state of neglect, but like the plants trimming and all that's been falling behind. I have been super busy. I was sick for quite a while, got that straightened out, then had to work a whole bunch of overtime, then had a kid graduate in high school, and now my son plays travel baseball, and that's keeping me super busy this summer. And then of course the website markshelleyquarks.com, you guys have kept me super busy with that, so making the tanks look nice. I have not had the best time for that, but we started off here at my inside guppy pond. Now this is where I end up placing all my misfit guppies, guppy culls. Whenever I decide to quit keeping a line, I'll throw whatever's left in here, and they're all left to just breed and interbreed and do their thing. So it's a mix of endlers and guppies. Every guppy line and endler line I've ever had has left some sort of genetic imprint into this inside guppy pond. Let's see. Yeah, and then you'll see a common trend is when I'm not staying on top of my tanks like I need to, we got duckweed issues. So look at all these guppies. Oh my goodness, look at all of them. Okay, that's the inside guppy pond. Then we come over here to what I call my fish room closet. And look at all that duckweed. Oh my gosh. So it'll start, we got 520 longs, 520 longs, and then we have 8 40-gallon breeders in here. Alright, we'll start over here. We'll start the 20 longs. This is my rainbow tiger endler line. They actually got hit pretty bad with the internal parasite issue I've been dealing with off and on. Pretty sure I have it beat. But there's been some young fry in here lately, so they're growing up. I have hope these guys will recover. They're doing good. And then these next 3 tanks are for my red mosaic line. There's not much left in here because most of my red mosaics are outside in the pond for the summer. And tank below that is another red mosaic line, different age of fry. I took about everything and put out there, but I decided to keep back a few fish inside just in case something went wrong out there. So we got that. In this tank, there's really nothing in there right now except some shrimp, snails. I feed it, keep the cycle going. And it will be for the red mosaic line as well when I bring all the ones outside in the fall. And then down here we got midnight blue Moscows. A line that seemed like they just quit breeding when they got hit with internal parasites. So I got them down here waiting to see what's going to happen. They're all healthy as can be. Just don't really see any fry being born. And that's happened to a couple of my lines. So Then we'll come over here. This is another line that had about all but quit breeding. But I see a few young fish. So someone has had fry. You can see they're all healthy as can be. One of these big females is missing a dorsal fin. It's been like that for a long time. Got in a fight or something. Some kind of, or she got a dorsal fin. She just some kind of weird thing going on there. I'm not sure, but she's been like that, not got any worse for a while now. Looks like some of these younger ones are gonna have some fry. This one looks like she's, so maybe, I think it'll keep going on. I really like for these guys to start doing good because I really like these steel nebulas. See, look at this. Look at these males. Super nice. And then the tank below that, we've got the Japan blue horde. These guys recovered from the parasites. And these guys don't really eat their fry, so we get lots and lots of these guys real quick. And then down here, right now it just has a bunch of coal shrimp in here. Just random shrimp. There was going to be guppies in here, but I just haven't done it. I'm not sure. I'll probably end up using it for something that I bring in the summer ponds, but right now it's just like the other tank on the other side, just full of shrimp and chilling, waiting. I keep getting it fed, keep feeding it, so then the cycle keeps going. And then down here's what I've kept of my half black green line. It looks like I've ended up with mostly males in here. But again, I haven't seen any fry from these guys, so I don't know. And then down here's the red grass. These guys are old, and they haven't dropped fry in a long time. They're another one that parasites, so these tanks, I'm just giving them time to see if something happens. Because they're a good line. They just don't want to drop fry. Look at all those females. They get huge, they just don't drop. So that's most of the guppy things. And now the stuff that I'm happiest with, we have shrimp and plecos. And look at these. Look at this tank as a whole. Look how big that Anubis has gotten. It was just that right there in the middle when I put it in there. And now it's growing all the way across here. These are the blue jelly shrimp. I did have, there's a whole bunch in here still. But I fed them an algae wafer this morning, and there's a bunch of them right here. But there's still a herd of them. They're dispersed, as you can see. Low maintenance tanks. Anubis and moss. And now that Anubis is shading out the moss, so now this moss doesn't really want to grow that good. And as I've said before, these tanks are, lots of them are in a state of neglect. But they're all healthy. They're all been getting the water changes. The filters been getting taken care of when they need to be taken care of, and all that. These are the orange shrimp. Look at the duckweed problem here. Goodness gracious. Look at these crypts in this tank. 40-gallon tank, and that is a brown crypt that is spread. Look at how thick and how big and how far that crypt is spread out. That's going all the way up to the very tip top of the tank. All right. And next we have the super red plecos, and there are some yellow shrimp in here that are starting to make a comeback, I think. I did have lots and lots of shrimp in here a couple years ago, then they started dying off. Now they're making a comeback. We have lots of super red fry in here of all various sizes and ages. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of snails in here, because when you're breeding these plecos, they need lots of food, and you put too much food in there and the snails happen. This tank is another mess. Last weekend I did have to take this apart and cleaned out the filter, my DIY filter in this tank. That's another thing about this tank, is my DIY filter. It does real good. It's just a couple sponges over PVC with holes drilled in it, so then the water goes through the sponges, goes into the PVC, and then down there buried is a 400-gallon per hour pump up to this, and then we got the spray bar. So that's how that tank works. Then over here, the main thing I'm doing here is the Blue Dreams. They're doing real good. They got lots in here, but look at this tank. It's needs some work. I've kept this breeder box going, and then look, there's been baby shrimp get sucked up, and they grow up in there because enough food gets sucked up in there for them to live. That one was in there as a little tiny baby, and I've never took it out. It's a grown up in this little breeder box. That, because they end up getting sucked up through there. That's how they get in. That's how they get in as little babies. And they end up growing up. Okay, and then the next tank is a 40-gallon. That is now a Panda guppy tank, and there are long fin lemon blue-eyed bristlenose plecos in here as well. There's some new little tinies. So in the spring I was trying to get a whole bunch of Panda guppies ready to go outside, because I have an outside tub full of Panda guppies, and I wanted to get as many as I could to get these guys going. So then I took out most of them, and I left a handful in here. That was in, I think, March, and now we're getting to the end of June, and we got the only thing I left in here mainly was fry. I was trying to get a bunch of females outside to start the tub, and I left these guys going, and now they're doing real good, making a whole bunch. And there are, I've seen at least one or two of the lemon blue eye long fins, but I don't even see an adult right now, so I don't think I'm going to see any babies. There's lots of little panda fry in here. It's for sure. That is a planter basket. See, there's little holes in there. I covered them with rocks so the fry can go down in there. I did a video when I made this. Yeah. And then over here I have my Bloody Mary line and my long fin green dragons. So these Bloody Mary shrimp are doing spectacular. Now it's been a few months since I got in here and called them out real good, but as you can see, they are pretty amazing. Every once in a while, what I got to do is go through and get these blue ones they'll throw from time to time, and that is the only thing you got to do with this shrimp line. Bloody Marys, they've become one of my favorites. Then we got the long fin green dragons. There's lots of fry in here at various stages, at least 2 spawns. Let's see. And when these guys have fry, like that one is a short fin. It's a green dragon, but it's short fin. So you get a mix of green dragons and you get a mix of albinos. There is an albino long fin looking pleco, I believe, from the same spawn. You get a mixture of short fins and long fins. So that looks like that's a long fin green dragon, I do think. So when they get a little bit older, I'll start taking them out. The ones that don't belong. Here's another one that needs to be called out. You get those kind of looking shrimp in here, but not very often, really. As you can see, we're not doing a whole lot of. There's one weird looking. It'll be shrimp culling time here for long. I might end up taking these out tonight now that I'm thinking of it. But yeah, 40-gallon Bloody Mary, pilo moss, some mermaid weed. Here's a long fin green dragon. Looks like both of those are going to be long fin green dragons, plecos, that is. Yeah, I gotta get on these calls. Other than the few blue ones, everything was looking really good. Alright. So this is my shrimp cull tank. Or you could call them Skittles. You get all kinds of different colors here. So, well, like I was saying before, I had a coughing fit. I'm having allergy and sinus problems, but other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. So this is where all the shrimp culls go, and then you end up, they interbreed and get all kinds of crazy different looking things. This tank is almost like an unlimited supply of shrimp. I've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these guys, and there's just always more shrimp in here. There's just always more shrimp. I never run out. I'm sure I would eventually, but and you only see the big ones. If you run your net across the moss, you'll end up getting tiny lots of little babies. And we got an algae problem in here. We got Rotala overgrown super bad. Yeah, this is the skills tank, and like I told you at the beginning of the video, a lot of these tanks they're all still healthy ecosystems. The plants have just gone out of control, because that's the hardest thing to keep up with, to be honest, are these plants. Not that they're hard, but you know, it's a lot to keep up with when you got this many tanks. And I've been working on the road for work, which means I'm gone 4 days a week. And when I'm home, I'm wore out and want to be home, and I just haven't been feeling like doing as much as I need to. Everything's still getting their water changes, everything's still getting fed. Just been so busy with life. The fish tanks are in, wouldn't say on their own, because I'm still taking care of them, but not babied. And it's pretty much like this every summer though, because we're so busy. My daughter, who just graduated high school, she used to always do travel ball, but now she's not doing it anymore, so that makes it a little bit easier. Lots of lower grade greens. I did put a lot of green jades in here a while back. There's a lot of them in there. Okay, that does it for the fish room closet. I'll show you what's next. Next I'll talk about this rack. It is 420 highs, a 75, and a 20 long on the floor. So, not that long ago, I made a video about starting new shrimp colonies with shrimp I already had, just to have backup tanks. And this was the blue jelly. This is the tank I did a blue jelly line in. And these guys have been slow to get going, but they're also, I see a few little tiny babies in here. So some are born in here. They're adjusting to their new environment. So they're coming along. And then here, I think I may have screwed up my snowball shrimp line. Now we have one of these is buried. I see it, yeah. That first one is buried. But they're not been making that many more babies. And they're dying off. Because I had guppies in here. I always had hundreds and hundreds of these snowballs, and not too many people wanted to buy them, so I wasn't super concerned over them. And look at these little flea shrimp or whatever. Look at all those little guys in there. Yeah, there's a buried one. So it'll keep going, but I've took these guys off the website for now, because I never sold them, never really thought too much of them, but I just kept them because, you know, it's a line of shrimp to have. Yep, there's a baby shrimp right there. These little water bug deals, seed shrimp, got tons of them in here. I think everything will pick up. I was trying to get the koi guppies in here going, and I was bombing it with anti-parasitic meds, and the shrimp don't really care too much for it, so they struggled. I think we'll be alright. There's still more shrimp in here, and I haven't had any meds in a long time, so they should be bouncing back. Now, this was started the same time as the blue jellies. I did a Beckett Blue Dreams line in here, and about 30 shrimp. Now I haven't called anything in here yet, so I probably need to go through and start doing that here soon. But these are just from the originals I threw in here. And this line is taking off so quick. I probably put about 30 in here, and there's well over 100 now. There's a lot of them. It's looking good. And of course this tank, for whatever reason, always struggles to be cloudy. It's been this way for years. I'm not sure why this tank is always real cloudy. This tank is always a little bit cloudy too. These 20 highs have always gone off and on. Bare bottom like they are now, with substrate like they had them before. But there's a success story. The backup Blue Dreams line is going good. And then this fourth 20 high, we have, these were what's left of my breeding group. Last fall, I selected a breeding group of my best red mosaics to make. I was collecting fry all winter to put outside to do my summer tub, and that's where most of them are. You saw some of the little younger ones I kept back there in the fish room closet. But we got an ancient man and an old man and an old girl who don't drop fry anymore. She looks pregnant, but she don't really drop. I haven't seen any fry in here in months, so just keeping them around, just enjoying them. She looks like she could drop. Well, I'm not sure if she will. And then below that, we've got the 75 gallon. Now, ever since I started putting in, I used to just have one pleco cave. There's a cave here. There's a cave that got buried under here, a cave back there, and a cave here. I think there's another cave over there for all the plecos. And since I've put all those caves in there, they're always digging and fighting and trying to claim territories, and the tank is always a disaster. They kick it up all the time, non-stop. So the tank it's clearer now than it is some days, so that's good. But as I can, I'm picking out the chocolate ones and trying to go with an all albino pleco tank. And this is also the home of thousands and thousands and thousands of my red shrimp. My high grade cherry sakura, that's what I sell them on, is the website, markshellyaquatics.com. And down here on the floor is a backup of my orange shrimp line. And they're doing good. There's still some, I gotta pick some out. There's still some dark colored shrimp in here. I removed everything, all the substrate, everything. Shop vacked it out. All the crud, every speck of it got shop vacked out. It was bone dry. Filled it back up with water, and I'm still finding like they were babies, and now they're growing up and they're dark shrimp, because there used to just be coal shrimp in here with guppies. Took all the guppies out. Looks like that orange girl's buried real good. Yep. So that's taken off. I'm gonna have to go through and tame the moss and algae right there. Again, like I said, everything's kind of in a state of neglect. All the water's healthy. The water changes and all the feed and stuff's getting done. Just don't look that pretty right now. Alright, so that is that. Then we have one more tank over here. This is the family room in the back of the house. We got the pond, the closet, this, and then over here we've got the 29-gallon Panda guppy tank. I have lots of Panda guppy tanks, but and a Panda guppy pond. But this is the one where I started the Panda guppies off at. Well, dedicated this 29-gallon tank to them. And they're doing good. All the little ones hide in the pearl weed. And all the big guys are out here begging for food all the time. And then that means we've got one more tank. And it is all the way at the front of the house in the living room. The 75-gallon green jade tank. Now I did just feed these guys some algae wafers this morning. So as you can see, they're out and about in this general vicinity because I dropped the wafers right in here. And they're cleaning up the mess. And the girl dogs are going crazy. What are you girls doing? Didn't know we were gonna get a play dog fight. Okay. Then also in this tank we have some super red long fin plecos. I'm not seeing any of them out right now. They have spawned for me once I know of, but none of the fry have made it, unfortunately. But there you have it, the green jades. I think, yep, that's all the tanks. That's everything. A quick look through all my tanks. I think there's 27 of them. So this will be about 33 minutes long. Talking about 27 tanks. Not too bad. I think I did it pretty quickly. So if you saw anything you like or you're interested in, you can check out my website at markshellyaquatics.com. I'll put a link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.